right, here we go. Hello. Carson Meredith with you. It is 6:48 p.m. on Sunday, November 3rd. I hope you're well. Hope you've had a good weekend. Sorry I wasn't on last night, but we're back at it tonight, and we have got a lot to talk about. We've got wind. We've got record warm weather, potentially. We've got rain, and we've got tropics. Yeah, and that's just for this week. So a very busy stretch of weather ahead. And that is what we are going to deep dive into tonight. So as always, if you have any comments, questions, thoughts, concerns, critiques, let me know in the comments, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anything like that. All right, let's go. Weather Geek, hello. Did they have you changing the clocks manually last night? No, they did not. Thankfully, most of the clocks, if not all the clocks in this building, are automatic. So they did the work for us last night. Hope you're well. Carrie says, first day of winter, like it was hot out. Yeah, it was a little warm today, wasn't it? We got within 3 degrees of our record here in Louisville. Hit 79. The record was 82 today. And we are going to make 2 more runs at records tomorrow and Tuesday, Election Day, which we will focus on the forecast for that all-important day here in just a little bit. How's that rain chance looking for Tuesday? I'll deep dive in a second, like I said, but while the polls are open, things look pretty good. So we'll start off there. Amanda says, hello from Bardstown. Hope you're well, Amanda, down in Nelson County. Angela's talking about the tropics. Yeah, we've got some new information on one of those systems in particular, Angela. We now have a tropical depression down in the Caribbean that we got to watch. Jacob wants to know where the sun went. Yeah, it kind of disappeared on us today, didn't it? That's no good. We'll see kind of a mix of sun and clouds here over the next couple days. Okay, that's a live view from Jeffersonville looking across the Ohio to downtown Louisville. It's getting way too dark, way too early now, isn't it? Sunset was at 5:41 this evening. The trade-off with this time change is we get an extra hour of sleep. But the problem is this, that we have these earlier sunsets, unfortunately. And I'd have to go back and look specifically, but I don't believe we have a 6 o'clock sunset again until either February or maybe into late January, somewhere in there. But the early sunsets are here to stay. So yeah, not a fan. Anyway, it's warm out there, guys. You don't even need to tell you that. 75 is our current temperature here in Louisville. Again, we got up to 79 earlier today. Our average high temperature in early November is 63 degrees. Our forecast low temperature overnight tonight is 63 degrees. These clouds are going to keep things very, very warm overnight tonight. I say it quite a bit. Clouds, they act like a blanket to keep us warm during the night. So that's why we're going to be in the low 60s to start off the work week on Monday. No need for the jackets tomorrow, like at all. And these warm nights are also going to be sticking around in addition to, of course, those warmer afternoon high temperatures as well. So yeah, staying cloudy, staying warm. And the reason why it's warming up, as we've talked about through the day, is this old warm front. It's giving us that push of warmer air from the south and west. It's also bringing in those clouds that filtered in through the day. So the forecast is largely right on schedule. Now, there was that small sprinkle chance today. We didn't see any sprinkles. In fact, because there's still a lot of dry air in the atmosphere, and those raindrops that try to come out of the clouds, well, they get out of the clouds, but they don't get to the ground. And that was the case today, especially just west of us. Out near Vincennes, Indiana, especially into Illinois. Let me zoom things out here on the map, drag it down to Oklahoma. It's been a while since we talked about a severe weather, I guess you could say outbreak, but unfortunately, this is day 2 of severe weather down in Oklahoma. Pretty significant tornadoes rolled through, I believe, the Oklahoma City suburbs last night. One tornado was rated an EF3. And now we've got another round of severe weather going on tonight in parts of eastern Oklahoma in particular. So this system as a whole, as I give you the big picture, it's a very slow mover. Notice how the general direction of it is kind of southwest to northeast. It's just kind of trains on a track going over the same spots like so. So that's keeping things dry here at home. And this really isn't going to get a kick east until we get this boundary to kind of scoot it along. And that will eventually happen by Tuesday for us. And that's when the rain arrives. Let's be clear, though. There is no severe weather risk anytime soon in wave country. The severe weather ingredients are just not there at all. So we don't have to worry about severe weather. We just have to focus on the rain by Tuesday. That's coming up in a second. Let's talk about the record temperatures first. I want to go step by step tonight because we have a lot to discuss for the week ahead. For tomorrow, our forecast high is 79, just like we hit today. The record high temperature for what is tomorrow, November 4th, is 80 on the dot. That was set back in 2003. So we may get close to that record tomorrow. We may not break it, though, but it's still going to be plenty warm for early November standards. It's been an up and down roller coaster with those temperatures this fall, hasn't it? When you factor in the wind, it's really going to feel like a April or May kind of day. Feeling more like spring. We can see wind gusts tomorrow upwards of 25, 30 miles per hour. And that wind will be out of the south and southwest. So maybe you haven't taken down the Halloween decorations just yet. Maybe you've already put up the Christmas decorations. I'm not judging. It's a little early for me. But you might want to have those anchored down tomorrow. It's going to be a breezy day. The trash cans, you might want to just kind of tuck them inside the garage door because they could be flying down the street with this kind of wind. So warm and breezy is the big story Monday. And for the most part, that is going to be the storyline for Election Day on Tuesday as well. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And during that 12-hour window, there is a very good chance that you will not see any rain at your house or at your polling place, all right? It's once we get into the evening when that cold front starts to move in where that rain chance goes pretty high. But during the poll opening window, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., look how warm it's going to be. We talked about how it's going to be very warm tomorrow morning in the low 60s. We may be in the mid 60s Tuesday morning. That would potentially go down as one of the warmest November mornings we've ever seen in wave country. So again, no need for the jackets. If you're going to be heading to the polls early as they open, maybe before you go to work, we'll climb into the mid 70s around lunchtime on Tuesday. And our forecast high is 81 degrees. And that would break a record. The record for Tuesday is also 80 on the dot. So very unusual to be talking about this kind of warm weather in early November. And you also see the wind gust, or the regular wind forecast, I should say, right here. We'll have sustained winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour all day tomorrow, all day Tuesday. But the gust on Tuesday in particular could be a little higher than what we just talked about for Monday. Still going to be just kind of a blustery feel around the region. Okay, I have not looked at any of the comments here. So let's see. Let's catch up. DJ King, how are you, my friend? Hope you're well up in Jennings County. You're always ready for snow. I know you are. Nothing anytime soon. In case you missed it, our winter forecast that came out on Halloween night, it's still at the top of the Wave Weather app. So once we're done with this video, if you want to click on that little box at the top of the app, you can check out our forecast. Carrie's got a very intriguing question. When are we going to get rid of these time changes? Well, you could have a say in that, actually, on Tuesday. There will not be any changes. Well, let me walk that back. If you want to stay on the time zone that we were in yesterday, so the daylight saving time, we cannot do that. We cannot stay on daylight saving time permanently unless it's approved by Congress and the president. All right? There are some states that already have laws in place to where Once Congress and once the president approves that, they go to daylight saving time permanently. But they can't do that until it's approved by Washington. Hopefully that makes sense. You can stay on this time zone that we just flipped to all year round if you want. There's a few states that do that. Arizona's one of them. So you can stay on the standard time that we just went to all year, but you can't go to daylight saving time like we just got off of until the folks in Washington pass a bill into law. So to answer that question, Carrie, who knows when we can get rid of these time changes. Let's see. Good question, though. Jason's watching in Cloverport. Judy's watching us in Findlay. Beverly's watching us from Germany. How about that? Hope you're well over there on the other side of the pond, Beverly. Michelle says hello. Cameron's asking about the severe weather threat. There is really nothing in the cards just yet, certainly for at least the next 10 days. Lauren says tomorrow's your birthday. Happy birthday. I would love the 80-degree weather. Well, you're going to get that on Monday, so hope you enjoy it. Let's see. Angela's got some thoughts here about this time change. That midnight feeling at 6 p.m. Tropics trying to wreak havoc in November, which usually we're slowing down a little bit by now. Warm days. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to talk about weather-wise in the week ahead, no question. Okay, so we talked about how election day, when the polls are open, looks pretty dry. There might be, as you see here on Futurecast, there might be a couple little blips that try to pop up during the afternoon. That chance is pretty slim, 10, 20%. It's something we'll watch. I don't think it's enough to cause significant impacts if you're heading to the polls, okay? That's for Tuesday afternoon. So as we go through the evening, however, first of all, you notice we're at 9 o'clock Tuesday night, and 90% of wave country is still nice and dry. So again, there is a very good chance you do not see rain at your house or at your polling location on election day. Election night, 9 o'clock, we've got widespread rain moving in from the west. And there could be some pockets of heavier downpours. There may be a few rumbles of thunder, but there's nothing when it comes to severe weather at all. The worst thing we might have is a few rumbles of thunder. So as we go through election night, that rain slowly moves in west to east. Remember, this system's a slow mover. This is 4 a.m. Wednesday morning. Again, some pockets of heavier rain in the mix. As we go through the rest of Wednesday morning, as this cold front slowly meanders around wave country, it'll take a while for that rain to get out of here, get a move on, right? So we got to keep the shower chances around into Wednesday, mainly the early part of the day. And models are going back and forth as to how quickly this cold front can move out. Right now, it looks like this system is going to kind of stall nearby. And that would mean some lingering shower chances possibly into Thursday as well. So is it going to rain every single second? No. But there might be some showers to dodge Wednesday and Thursday in particular as this front hangs out nearby. That's the rain side of things. So most of the rain holds off until late in the evening, Tuesday, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock onward, okay? The wind is going to be with us all day on Tuesday. As early as 11 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be seeing those wind gusts around 25 miles per hour. So almost identical to what we're going to have tomorrow. We'll do it again on Tuesday when it comes to the wind. And as we go through the afternoon, this is the European model, and it suggests maybe 35 to 40 mile per hour gust as that cold front gets closer. Now, I'm cautious with this because last week, the European on Halloween also said 35 to 40 mile per hour gust, and we really didn't see a lot of that. So I'm a little more cautious saying we'll see those kind of wind gusts this go round. But it will certainly be breezy no matter how you slice it. So keep that in mind as you're heading to the polls on Tuesday. And it's still going to be breezy into election night as that rain starts to move in with those gusts near 25, maybe 30 miles per hour. So morning, afternoon, and night, it's going to be windy. But the rain is more so focused on Tuesday night instead. Most of the day looks just fine. Let's see. Patty says, how does Wednesday look here in Louisville? I'll go back to Futurecast briefly, and then we'll dive into our last big talking point of the night, which is the tropics, because that might mean something for us too by week's end. So as we get towards Tuesday night, we mentioned that rain's moving through. Could be a little heavy at times, no severe weather at all, probably not much in the way of thunder. But this is 7 o'clock Wednesday morning, or 6:30, somewhere in that ballpark. And you notice the rain is still hanging around because this cold front is slowing down. So we're likely going to be dealing with some wet roads for the Wednesday morning drive as everybody heads back to work and school. And there's some indications those showers could hold on a little while longer, especially just south of Louisville throughout the entire day on Wednesday. We're still trying to figure out how slowly, this isn't going to make sense at first, but how quickly does this front stall out and how much moisture will there still be left as that front stalls out? So we'll keep showers in the forecast for now. On Wednesday, Patty. Hope that makes sense. Desiree says she's watching from Houston. What's the weather tomorrow? I'm coming home. Come on home. Be safe. It'll be nice and warm and breezy on Monday. So no weather issues. Safe travels from Houston, Desiree. Connie's watching in, let's see, AR. I would assume that's Arkansas. If so, we appreciate you watching from Arkansas. Denise says, need rain, but love these warm days. The trend for a good chunk of November is keep things above average temperature-wise. Will it be upper 70s near 80 every single day? No, but it doesn't look like it's going to be in the 40s or 50s anytime soon. And I don't see any frost in the forecast anytime soon either. So the warmer weather definitely going to stay for a while. Angela says the leaves that are still on the trees now will be wind casualties. Yeah, they're going to slowly fall off the next couple of days. I was surprised at how well the trees held up on Halloween Thursday, but again, it wasn't quite as windy as we thought it would be. But yeah, enjoy the last little bit of fall foliage because those leaves will probably be gone by the middle of this week. Tracy's asking, is this a wind event? I wouldn't necessarily call it a wind event where you might have power outages or anything like that. I don't see that. It's just going to be windy. It's just going to be breezy. 25 mile per hour gust tomorrow, maybe upwards of 35 mile per hour gust on election day. So just a little windy, but I don't foresee any major issues, be it power outages or trees down or anything like that. Just make sure all your holiday decorations and your garbage cans are anchored down so they don't go flying the next couple of days. All right. So we've talked about the warm weather. We've talked about the rain Tuesday night. Now we turn our attention to the tropics again. Another good reminder that the tropical season does not end until November 30th. So we got a few more weeks. And indeed, we have a new tropical depression to talk about. How about Tropical Depression 18? The National Hurricane Center has been watching this system for almost a week now, and it's just now getting its act together. It's in the Caribbean, or Southern Caribbean, for lack of a better term, and all indications are, unfortunately, this system will gain strength, organize, and move into the Gulf of Mexico. And for us, this system could mean more moisture next weekend, which might mean higher rain chances, of course, for next weekend. For the time being, though, 35 mile per hour winds with this little storm that continues to get its act together. Here's the track from the National Hurricane Center, and it's going right into the Gulf again. However, it's going to be taking a different track compared to what Helene and Milton did, at least at this stage of the game, in that it's going to veer northwest away from Florida, which goodness knows they do not need another hurricane threat or tropical storm threat, right? So as we look closer, we just kind of follow along the track. You notice we get towards Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, let me back up even more. You notice tomorrow, this tropical cyclone will become a tropical storm. The next name on the list, Raphael. Raphael. We're down to the R name this year. So Raphael will become a tropical storm late tonight, early tomorrow. It'll continue north and west, skirting by Jamaica Monday night into Tuesday, continuing northwest. And the current track from the National Hurricane Center, the current forecast, has soon to be Raphael strengthening into a Category 1 hurricane as it moves over western Cuba. That would be Tuesday night, early Wednesday. But here's where the forecast is good in a way. It's good in a way. Notice how as it moves into the Gulf, it weakens back into a tropical storm, according to the latest forecast. And this would be by Thursday. The cold fronts that we've had move through the eastern U.S. Going back into all of October, have cooled down the waters of the Gulf of Mexico, which is awesome. That means these systems can't rapidly intensify like Helene did and like Milton did. So the Gulf is not necessarily bathwater anymore. It's much cooler, and that'll help to keep Raphael from getting too out of hand. As far as potential landfall, it's a little early for specifics, but I would say the Louisiana coastline might be an area of interest. Somewhere, well, I mean, you can see how wide the cone of uncertainty is, but it appears this general area from Houston to Lake Charles to New Orleans to Biloxi might have to watch Raphael as it moves in. And the big question with Raphael is what happens with it, not only as it moves towards land, but also how does it interact with another cold front heading into next weekend? So you notice on the 10-day earliest alert, Saturday and Sunday of next weekend, we've got for the return of rain chances. Brian was talking about this a little bit on Friday, whether or not this tropical system would phase with the front or with the next system. Would it kind of do its own little thing where northern system stays on its own and the tropical system stays south? It's becoming more and more likely that it phases in a way. And for us, that means more moisture, more tropical moisture. And that means some slightly higher rain chances as well. Right now, we're keeping the weekend rain chances at 30 to 40%. We may have to bump them up as we get closer. But there's still a lot of timing discrepancies we have to sort out with that system. So that's where we stand with the long-term forecast. But obviously, we've got a lot to deal with the next couple of days too, right? Weather-wise, at least. As far as the temperatures are concerned, as you see on the 10-day, we go from upper 70s and low 80s tomorrow and Tuesday, down into the low 70s in general through the rest of the 10-day. So that's above average. That is certainly above average as we roll through the early part of November. Okay? But the weather pattern certainly does look to become more active, not just in the next 10 days, but maybe even further into November. So get ready. Hopefully you enjoyed that quiet October. Any thoughts, comments, questions for me? You guys have quieted down. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. But there's a lot going on as we go through the next 10 days weather-wise. Let's see. Braden asked, could Tuesday be an alert day for the wind since a lot of people are going to be out voting? I doubt it. Braden, that's a good question. I doubt it. I won't make the call. Well, I'll leave that up to the rest of the team at this stage of the game. But I personally do not see the need for an alert day at this point, mainly because we won't have the rain with the wind. If you're going to be standing in line at your voting site Tuesday, it's going to be breezy. It's going to be breezy. So if you're going to wear a hat or something like that, make sure it doesn't go flying away off your head, right? But we don't have the rain to worry about while the polls are open at this point. If we had the rain and the wind together, kind of like we thought we would have on Halloween, then I would be more interested in considering an alert day, because if you're standing outside in the lines waiting to vote, you walk in to get your ballot and you're soaking wet and you're a mess because you had to stand outside in the rain and wind, right? But at this point, no alert day for Tuesday. Just know it's going to be a warm and windy day as you head out to vote, okay? Good question, though. Good question. Lauren says, love to hear and watch you. We like the mild weather. Thank you for the kind words, Lorene. Yeah, mild weather's not too bad. I wish it was a little cooler, selfishly, but Mother Nature's been kind of all over the place with those temperatures in the fall. There's no doubt about that. But thank you for the kind words, Lorene. I appreciate it. Okay. That's all I got tonight, guys. Hopefully it wasn't information overload, but big 3 things you need to know. Warm and windy Monday and Tuesday. Rain arrives Tuesday night. Could have some tropical moisture that gives us higher rain chances by next weekend. Those are the 3 big takeaways from our chat here on Wave Weather Now tonight. Any last minute thoughts before I go? We've got Sunday Night Football tonight on NBC. It's the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a Colts fan, so I will pay a little more attention to this game tonight. Once that game is done, you can watch us on Wave News on NBC, hopefully around 11:30 or 11:45. So if you're a night owl, if you're going to watch that game, keep the TV on, catch your latest news and weather as we get ready for a very busy week ahead, as we all know. All right. Looks like everybody's good in the comments, so I'm going to wrap things up. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we will get through this week just fine. Hang on to those hats the next couple of days. And we'll watch that rain on Tuesday night as well. All right, guys, that's going to do it for now. Appreciate you watching as always. I'll see you on the TV side of things after Sunday Night Football later on tonight. Have a good evening.